Now, Romelu Lukaku is edging closer to one of the biggest deals in football history. Manchester United have agreed a £75 million fee for the Everton striker. Right, we're going to be live to Vinny O'Connor over there at Everton's training ground in a moment. But first, let's head to this man, and that is Fraser Dainton, who's at United's training ground. Fraser, simple question. Where is Lukaku?
Well, he's already stolen a march on the rest of his potential Manchester United teammates because he's already in Los Angeles. He's been there for a while, in actual fact. As you can see from these pictures, he's with Paul Pogba, the two of them good friends, and they've been holidaying together over in Los Angeles and training together as well. And as we understand it, that is where the medical will take place, possibly today, although having said that, it's only about 2 a.m. in the morning over in Los Angeles right now, so it won't be until much later on today, UK time, before we see any sort of developments. Now, the rest of the Manchester United squad, we understand, due to meet here at the Carrington training ground tomorrow ahead of flying out to Los Angeles for the start of their American tour. So the Manchester United medical staff have already made their way over to America in preparation for that tour beginning. So they will no doubt be heavily involved in the medical itself, which will take place in Los Angeles. So it's now a question of waiting to hear any further developments from stateside. But of course, as soon as anything does happen, we'll bring it to you right here.
Fraser, thank you very much indeed. Right, let's now head to Vinny O'Connor. There he is at Everton's training ground. Now, Vinny, there were reports that Ronald Koeman was annoyed Lukaku wouldn't take his calls. How much truth is there in that?
Well, Rob, Ronald Koeman arrived here at Everton's Finch Farm training ground just after 7 o'clock this morning. He looked pretty happy as well, didn't look too annoyed at that time. Look, the facts of the matter are, at the moment, we've put the question to Everton Football Club, what is the situation as regards Lukaku? Because there's some conjecture as to whether there's an unauthorised absence at the moment this week, or whether indeed he was due back next week. Certainly that was the impression that we were given when we had earlier asked the question, and he'd been given that time off after the extra time off following his participation in Belgium's internationals at the end of the season. So as yet, we're still to get a definitive answer from Everton Football Club. One, as to whether he is authorised to be away from Finch Farm at the moment, and two, indeed, if that absence is unauthorised, whether indeed manager Ronald Koeman is angry that he hasn't had calls returned from Lukaku. But obviously, I think the facts of the matter are that Everton aren't going to be railroaded into a deal. They're going to do a deal on their terms. They were quick to react to that. Sources telling us that Everton had accepted a £75 million bid. Senior sources here at Everton telling us immediately that that wasn't the case, and indeed there was some way to go for a deal to be struck with Manchester United for the sale of Lukaku. So a bit of a way to go in this one. One deal that is nearing completion, I can tell you, is the signing of Josh Bowler, the youngster from QPR, the young midfielder. He arrived here at Finch Farm a short while ago. He was driven in to Everton's training ground. He was sat in the back of a black car, and he will complete a deal that will see Everton pay £1.5 million up front, with the fee possibly rising to £4.25 million. The rest of Everton's first team are in there at the moment as well. They have started pre-season. That started on Monday, but of course Josh Bowler won't get to see Romelu Lukaku. As Fraser told you, he's still in LA, and it looks like increasingly likely that he's not going to be coming back as an Everton player.